What is going on YouTube? It is Repulse, back with another video. In today's video, we have another Chelsea news video. A lot kicked on today. I felt that I needed to do a video today because I missed yesterday. I'm out of town doing college stuff, so I don't have my usual setup, but there was a lot that kicked off today, a lot that we need to get into. My dashboard is completely full of news from today, so yeah, I do hope y'all enjoy the rest of this video. But to begin, we are going to begin with the potential outgoings that Chelsea have this season. And that consists of Robert Sanchez, Jorge Petrovic, Renato Vega, Ben Chilwell, Axel Disasi, Wesley Fofana, Kieran Dewsbury Hall, Carney Chukwuemeka, Leslie Ugochukwu, and Raheem Sterling. There are a couple that surprised me in there. Um, Robert Sanchez I thought would stay for another year just because of how well he finished the end of last season. Jorge Petrovic I thought would come in and be the number one guy right away just because of how good he was to end last season. Or no, how good he was at Strasbourg last season. I was still thinking about Sanchez. Petrovic was amazing at Strasbourg last season, and I think he deserves to come in and at least compete to be the number one guy. Renato Vega burned bridges at the club. We already know that. Ben Chilwell, Disasi, already guys that we knew were going to leave. Wesley Fofana, I think we're just going to listen to offers for. Just because of his injury concerns, I think they'll continue in the future, and they were a thing at Leicester before he even came to Chelsea. So yeah, I think we will listen to offers for him. Dewsbury Hall, I could see stay, I could see go. I think listening to offers would be the right thing if we get basically our money's back for him. Chukwuemeka, I expect to go in a swap deal for Jamie Bino Gittens, to be honest. Ugochukwu, I'm a little surprised because he looked like he had a decent amount of potential when he played, um, but hasn't really been in our plans, and I think the midfield that we do have coming in will exceed Ugochukwu's potential and his talent currently, and then Sterling we already know went to Arsenal, and I don't really see him play all year besides the Carabao Cup. But tying into other midfielders, we do have an announcement today. Dario Asugo from Sporting, but he was on loan at Las Palmas. Basically a Caicedo regen, Caicedo 2.0, even though Caicedo's only like 25. Basically, if we want to shut a game down, Dario Sugo's your guy. I expect him to be in the first team next year. I expect him to be a rotational piece, but I do think he's a very good player, and I'm really excited to see what he does in the future because I think he could be a really good midfielder, and I think he could stay with us next season just because we need the depth on the midfield, but always go start at Strasbourg the year off after or something like that. But yeah, really exciting, really good talent at the midfielder spot, really good ball-winning midfielder, physical, really, really good profile, really similar profile to Caicedo. That's why I call him his regen. Obviously not as skillful, and I doubt will ever be as skillful as Caicedo has been, but definitely has potential to get up there to an extent. So yeah, really, really welcoming this signing. I think only 18.5 euros or 18.5 million euros, sorry, 22.5 million euros, 18.5 million pounds, something like that. Not an expensive deal by any means, and I think a really good midfielder. So I'm happy to see him come through the door. Um, Other than that, we have that Liam Delap has completed his final part of his medical test, and he can basically be considered a Chelsea player. His 30 million pound move is completed, and we expect the announcement to most likely come tomorrow for me because I'm in the U.S., so it's 7:05 p.m. So likely 1 a.m. if y'all are in Europe, or 2 a.m. So later today, by the time this video goes up, we would expect Liam Delap to be announced, or for me tomorrow. But I think him, as I've said, I've already stated my opinions on him. I think he can be a serviceable 9 for us. I think he can lead the line if we need him to. But I would like another 9 to come through the door, and that is where this comes in. Adler News tweeted that the transition from Hugo Ekitike to Chelsea is only a matter of time, and that was backed up by Tanzalic for L'Equipe in France said that Chelsea are accelerating for Ekitike. So that's two journal outlets from two different countries. That is one from Germany, one from France reporting on this thing. So I do think that talks accelerated today, and I think Ekitike could become a Chelsea player in the near future, which is something that I'll completely welcome. And it seems like the price tag may be able to be brought down to 80 million euros plus add-ons, or I think 70 million euros plus add-ons, something around that range, which I wouldn't mind at all. I just think um, 100 million euros is a little too much for my liking. But Pice says that further, Ekitike withdrew from the France U21 Euro squad due to a back injury, but he is likely resting before a transfer, which I think was apparent to everyone when they saw that news. So I think we are all expecting Hugo Ekitike to come through the door, and I think he's a really good player and would be a good signing for us to play alongside Liam Delap. Other than that, we have a new winger link. Chelsea are chasing the signature of Jamie Bino Gittens before the Club World Cup. I expected this one to come through. I mean, we've been linked with him for a while. I think that he would be a good player for us. He's direct enough from that left wing spot that I think he could have a decent goal assist output at that winger position, but he's also really good at the 1v1 situations. I think a little bit more polished than Anani Madueke, but I don't know if I'd move on from Madueke yet. I do want Gittens to come in though. I think he would be a good signing. Has shown out in some games, but also been lackluster in a couple others. It's just one of those things with the young players. You never know what you're going to get for them on any given day. But I do think Gittens is a little more consistent than the other youngsters we have gone in for. So yeah, I would like to see him come through the door, and I think the price tag will be set at 50 million, but I think it could be uh, reduced just slightly to maybe 40, 45, somewhere around there, and even lower if what I said earlier, Carney Chukwemeka is able to be returned to Borussia Dortmund to lower that fee, which I think would be a great deal, all things considered, because I do see Gittens as a potential talent in the future, as well as a talent that could come in and start for us next season. So I do think it would be a good signing, and I think he could contribute in the Club World Cup if he is able to come through the door before then, as we have 8 days left in this mini window. Uh, On to other wingers, though. We have crucial hours on Jadon Sancho. Fabrizio says, get ready, decision expected imminently. The way that it's trending, I don't see him staying, to be honest. I know I said I'd be open to him staying, and I still am. I think he could be a good squad player for us, especially if he um, lets himself reduce his own wages from 250K to, I think, 115, 120, which I do not really see him doing, to be honest. I don't think anyone would want to take half their pay just to move, especially when they have another year on their deal and then can sign somewhere else for free afterward. So I don't know what the deal will be with Jadon Sancho. Um, I'd be happy if he stays. I wouldn't mind if he goes either, especially if we're getting Gittins through the door. Um, but the way it's trending right now, I could see him just leaving altogether. It seems like that's gonna be the case. But the decision is expected soon, and I haven't really seen anything since um, that was tweeted. So I think as of right now, we're still just up in the air about Jadon Sancho's future. But if I'm just reading the situation, I would say that um, we are likely to let him go, um, which is fine. I mean, contributed for us this season, 100%. But at the end of the day, wasn't really a standout player that we should be begging to keep, especially on those wages. Um, Moving on to other talents, we have Matt Law saying to keep an eye out for Chavi Simmons. They believe that he could be put up for sale this summer and that we have already had a look at him. I think Chavi Simmons could be a good player for us. I think um, could play in that Enzo role, could play out on the wing, could play in that Palmer role if Palmer ever needs a rest. So yeah, I think Chavi Simmons is a great player. Really, really pure footballer, and I think if Enzo can't play a game, Javi Simmons would be a great replacement for him, and I think could even start a couple games next season just out of pure talent. He's a really talented player, and I think it'd be pure football watching him, Palmer, Esteval, maybe Gittens, Ekitike just lead that front five. It will be a really fun watch if we are able to get him through the door, but then again, it is a rumor. It's not a certain link. I do think it is a slight link, but I don't think it's anything concrete. But Javi Simmons is a great footballer. I just wanted to bring this to y'all's attention because I really do like Javi Simmons as a player. Um, and then lastly, I got through this pretty quickly. Actually, I'm pretty surprised. Chelsea is understood to be open to offers for Nani Madueke because there is a feeling within the club that his development has stalled. Um, I don't know how I feel about this. I think I'd want to give Madueke another season. That first December to January, or not December to January, that's only a month. December to June, he had at the club when we were sitting 12th. He really showed out and looked like a good talent. Um, hasn't really kicked on yet, but I don't think we can expect him to because change a manager, then change a manager again. Um, but I would like to see more from him, to be honest. I think there's chances that he should have converted 100%. Um, but I do think he's a good player. We're potentially getting 50 million for him if we were to move on from him. I think the most likely suitor for him is Newcastle, especially after we lost or they lost out on Brian Emblemo, who wants to go to Manchester United. Um, but yeah, I do think Nani Madueke is a good player and can definitely be a better player in the future. But I do think he has a lot to work on. So um, if we can cash in, I would be against it. Especially for 50 million. I think that's a low price when if he has one decent season, you could probably get more for him. But then again, he hasn't really kicked on yet, so I don't think that anyone could really argue against it. But I would like him to stay. And the last news of the day that I'm sorry, I just said the last piece was um, Benfica accelerates for the loan of Joao Felix. I believe it's going to be a loan with the not an obligation to buy, but with an option to buy for pretty cheap. Don't really know why we signed him. Um, yeah, just a weird signing overall, but yeah, there's Joao Felix for you. I guess hasn't really settled down at a club since leaving Benfica. Um, but that is the news roundup. It was a crazy busy day. Um, in summary, I would like Ekitike. I'm glad that Liam Delap is a official player. We expect the announcement to be soon. Um, yeah, sorry. There's more news on Eintracht Frankfurt and Hugo Ekitike. Chelsea has reached a complete agreement with Ekitike. This is on personal terms. Not with or between us and Frankfurt. However, the clubs are also close to reaching an agreement. Today, there were very good talks with Eintracht Frankfurt. Everyone is optimistic. Hugo Ekitike will definitely move to London and is already participating in the Club World Cup. I could see this happening. I think that he does come in before the Club World Cup starts, and I would like to see that. I would like to see that Delap and Ekitike both come in, and I think they could coexist together if we were to play two at the top in one game. Um, Other than that, I would like Gittens coming in. I don't understand selling Petrovic. I would like to see more center back links, to be honest. I know we have Branthwaite for a little bit, but it seems to be calming down just a tad bit. But yeah, I'd like more links on the defensive front. But other than that, that's pretty much all the news we had today. And I will definitely be back with another news video tomorrow because I do kind of expect a close negotiation that we submitted an official bid to Frankfurt from one of the main journalists for Ekitike or something being very close to being agreed with Gittens. So yeah, that's how things are shaping up right now. I do think it has been, or it's panning out to be a decent window for us. Um, so yeah, I think bright future ahead, as we always say. I would like to us to sign a mainstay player that we know we're bringing in to 100% be a mainstay guy, but can't really argue with the signings. I think Gittens is going to be a really good player if he comes through the door, as well as Ekitike. But that's all the news for today. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any signings you think that we should make, or have any recommendations of any content that I should make in the future, regardless of if it's Chelsea affiliated or if it's just regular content, playing some games, maybe hopping on Steam, finding a random game to play, please leave that down in the comments. I would love to hear what feedback y'all give me. But yeah, that was the news for today. I know I just said that, but it has been a lot. I think everyone just needs to decompress a little bit. We've had a couple slow days in the past few weeks, but other than that, it has kicked on today, and I expect it to kick on a lot more in the coming days before the Club World Cup. But thank y'all so much for watching. It is Repulse, and I'm out. Thank you again. Peace.